Hello, my friend. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Imagine we're sitting in my office, just the two of us, with a warm cup of tea or coffee, having a real, honest conversation. As psychologists who's worked with folks just like you for decades, I've seen how aging brings so much wisdom, grace, and perspective. But I've also noticed something else. Sometimes, as the years go by, we pick up little habits that sneak into our lives without us even realizing. They're not who we are, but they can dim the light of these beautiful years if we let them. Today, I want to share a heartfelt talk about 9 habits that many of us slip into as we age. These aren't things to feel guilty about. Goodness, no. This is about understanding ourselves better, catching these patterns, and choosing to live with more joy, connection, and peace. Think of this as a gentle check-in, like when I ask my patients, "How's your heart doing these days?" My hope is that by the end of our time together, you'll feel empowered to make small changes that make a big difference. This conversation is for all of you out there embracing your golden years, looking for ways to live healthier, happier, and wiser. If you find this helpful, I'd love for you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so we can keep these heart-to-hearts going. And if you're new here, welcome to our community, a place where we share senior health, healthy aging, and timeless wisdom to inspire each other. Let's dive in, shall we? Here are 9 habits I've seen in my practice, in my own life, and in the stories you share with me. They're common, they're human, and most importantly, they're things we can work on together. 1. Getting stuck in our comfort zones. You know that feeling when you found a routine that just works? Maybe it's the way you start your morning with the same breakfast, or how you always watch the same news channel, because it feels familiar. Routines are wonderful. They ground us. But sometimes as we age, we can lean so hard into what's comfortable that we close the door to new possibilities. I had a patient, Mary, who came to me feeling stuck. She'd been going to the same diner every Friday for years, ordering the same meal, sitting at the same booth. When I suggested trying a new spot, she looked at me like I'd asked her to climb a mountain. But a few weeks later, she tried a little cafe down the street and met a group of folks who became her walking buddies. That small change opened up her world. Staying in our comfort zones can make life feel smaller than it needs to be. It can keep our minds from growing and our hearts from connecting. As a psychologist, I know that trying new things, even tiny ones, keeps our brains sharp and our spirits lifted. Your step forward. This week, try one small thing outside your routine. Maybe it's listening to a new radio station, visiting a different park, or even rearranging your living room. Notice how it feels to stretch just a little. You're stronger than you think. 2. Letting complaints take over. Have you ever caught yourself grumbling about the weather, the traffic, or how everything seems harder than it used to be? I know I have, especially on days when my back's acting up. Complaining is human. It's a way to let off steam. But as we age, it can become a habit that sneaks into too many of our conversations. I worked with a gentleman named Robert who started every session with a list of what was wrong, his arthritis, his noisy neighbors, you name it. One day, I asked him to tell me something that brought him joy that week. He was quiet for a moment, then smiled and talked about his granddaughter's piano recital. From then on, we made a ritual to start with something positive. It didn't erase his challenges, but it shifted his focus and his mood. When we complain too much, it can pull us into a cycle of negativity. It affects how we feel and how others see us. In my practice, I've seen how focusing on what's good, even in tough times, can be like medicine for the soul. Your step forward. For the next few days, before you share a complaint, pause and think of one thing you're thankful for, a kind neighbor, a sunny day, or even a good night's sleep. Share that instead. It's a small shift that can change how you see the world. 3. Judging others without knowing their story. As we age, we bring a lifetime of experience to the table. That's a gift. It helps us understand the world. But sometimes, it can lead us to make quick judgments about others. Maybe we see someone acting a certain way and think, they should know better. I've done it myself. Like when I saw a young woman at the grocery store on her phone and assumed she was being rude. Then I overheard her coordinating care for her mom, and I felt a pang of regret. Judging others too quickly can disconnect us from people. It can make us seem critical when what we really want is to connect. In my work, I've learned that everyone's carrying a story we can't see. Aging should make us more compassionate, not less. Your step forward. The next time you feel a judgment creeping in, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what might their story be? You don't have to know the answer. Just the question can soften your heart and keep you open. 4. Carrying old hurts. Oh, this one's heavy, isn't it? As the years go by, we collect hurts, disappointments, betrayals, or misunderstandings that linger. Maybe it's a friend who let you down, a family member who said something unkind, or regret from long ago. Holding on to these grudges is like carrying a backpack full of stones. It weighs us down. I had a patient, Ellen, who hadn't spoken to her sister in a decade over a family disagreement. In therapy, we worked on what forgiveness might look like. Not excuse what happened, but letting go of the anger for her own peace. When she finally reached out, they didn't fully reconcile, but Ellen told me she felt lighter, like she could breathe again. Carrying grudges steals our joy and keeps us stuck. As a psychologist, I know that letting go is one of the bravest things we can do for ourselves. It's not about the other person. It's about giving yourself permission to move forward. Your step forward. Think of one hurt you've been holding on to. Write it down. Pour out how it made you feel. Then tear up the paper or tuck it away. Let it be a symbol of releasing that weight. You deserve to feel free. 5. Letting self-care slide. This one's so common. As we age, it's easy to stop putting effort into how we present ourselves. Maybe we wear the same comfy clothes every day, skip the barber, or stop caring about our posture. I've been there. There was a time when I lived in the same old cardigan because it was good enough. But here's what I tell my patients. Taking care of yourself isn't about looking young or impressing others. It's about honoring the person you are. When we put a little effort into our appearance, whether it's a fresh haircut, a favorite shirt, or just standing tall, it sends a message to ourselves that we matter. It lifts our mood and our confidence. I worked with a patient, George, who started dressing up for his weekly coffee with friends after we talked about this. He said it wasn't about vanity. It was about feeling alive and engaged with the world again. Asterisk your step forward. This week, choose one small way to care for yourself. Maybe it's wearing something that makes you feel good, getting a trim, or even just taking a moment to moisturize your skin. Notice how it shifts your energy. You're worth it. 6. Talking more than we listen. Oh, do we have stories to tell? After all these years, we've got a wealth of experiences to share, and that's beautiful. But sometimes we can get so caught up in telling our stories that we forget to listen. I've seen this in my practice and in myself. I once dominated a conversation with a patient about my own experiences, only to realize they were trying to share something important. Listening is a gift we give others. It says you matter. It also keeps us connected and learning, no matter our age. One of my patients, Clara, started practicing active listening with her grandkids. She said it transformed their relationship. They opened up in ways she never expected. Your step forward. In your next conversation, try to listen twice as much as you speak. Ask a question, really hear the answer, and hold off on sharing your own story right away. It's a small act that builds deeper bonds. 7. Shying away from technology. Technology can feel like a mountain, can't it? Apps, smartphones, video calls, it's a lot. As we age, it's tempting to say, that's not for me. I felt that way about online banking until a patient's daughter showed me how simple it could be. Now it's a game changer. Avoiding technology can limit our world. Whether it's staying in touch with family, accessing health resources, or exploring new hobbies. In my practice, I've seen patients like Susan, who learned to use Zoom at 70 and now hosts virtual game nights with her friends. It's not about being tech savvy. It's about staying curious. Your step forward. Pick one piece of technology you've been avoiding. Maybe it's texting, joining a social media group, or trying a video call. Ask someone you trust to guide you. Take it one step at a time. You've got this. 8. Living in the past. The past is a rich tapestry, full of memories that shape us. But sometimes, as we age, we can spend too much time there, thinking about what was or what could have been. I worked with a patient, Tom, who kept replaying a career decision from his 40s. It was keeping him from enjoying his life now. The present is where we live, love, and grow. In therapy, I teach patients to anchor themselves in the moment. It's a skill that brings peace. The past informs us, but it doesn't define us. Your step forward. Try this simple exercise. Pause and notice 5 things around you. What you see, hear, or feel. Maybe it's the softness of your chair, the chirping of birds, or the smell of coffee. It pulls you back to now, where life is happening. 9. Pulling back from connection. This one breaks my heart. As we age, it's easy to withdraw. Maybe we feel tired, out of place, or like we've lost touch with friends. I've seen patients like Margaret, who stopped going to her knitting group after her husband passed, thinking she didn't belong. But when she went back, she found warmth and support she'd been missing. Isolation isn't just lonely. It's hard on our health. Studies show that connection boosts our mood, lowers stress, and even helps us live longer. You have so much to offer. Your wisdom, your kindness, your presence, your step forward. Reach out to one person this week. Call an old friend, chat with a neighbor, or join a local group. It doesn't have to be big. Just one connection can light up your heart. Well, my friend, that's our heart-to-heart for today. These 9 habits: getting stuck in routines, complaining, judging, holding grudges, neglecting self-care, talking too much, avoiding technology, living in the past, and isolating, are things we all stumble into sometimes. But recognizing them is a first step to breaking free. You're not alone in this, and you have the strength to make small, meaningful changes. Here's a quick reminder of your steps forward. Try one new thing to step out of your comfort zone. Share gratitude before complaints. Pause and wonder about someone's story before judging. Release an old hurt by writing it down and letting it go. Care for yourself with one small act of self-respect. Listen twice as much as you speak. Take a small step with technology. Anchor yourself in the present with a mindfulness exercise. Reach out to someone for connection. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these habits feels familiar, and what's one step you're ready to take? Your story matters and inspires everyone in this community. If this conversation touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe so we can keep these talks going. Hit that bell to stay in the loop for our next chat about living with wisdom, health, and joy. Until we meet again, take care of yourself. You're a gift to this world, and I'm cheering for you every step of the way. See you soon.